War begins. U.S. deploys strength military after China invaded
Taiwan in South China Sea. The United States is pushing back against stepped-up Chinese military activities near Taiwan and in the South China Sea as a means of deterring a conflict with Beijing, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says. China in recent days has conducted large-scale military exercises and provocative jet flights near Taiwan in what China's state media say is a response to a visit to the island by a senior State Department official last week.
China's military fired 4 missiles into the South China Sea last week, and the People's Liberation Army this week posted a video online showing a simulated Chinese bombing strike on the American territory of Guam. Asked about the growing tensions in an interview with the Washington Times, Mr. Pompeo blamed past policies that he said ignored threatening Chinese activities.
He hinted that Washington was also ready to expand the offensive against Chinese internet companies operating in the U.S. and will seek to completely shut down a network of Chinese cultural centers in the U.S. called Confucius Institutes as soon as the end of this year. What we have done for decades is we have permitted the Chinese Communist Party to engage in threatening or disruptive behavior, whether that is predatory economic practices and the like, and they have continued to expand their capacity and their footprint, he said. The biggest risk with regard to the Chinese Communist Party is appeasement. President Trump, he added, has said, enough. We're not going to let that happen anymore. The Secretary of State said in the interview that leaders in Beijing need to recognize the Trump administration's seriousness and Mr. Trump's commitment in pushing back against Chinese expansionism. We watch these military activities, and we prepare, Mr. Pompeo said. President Trump's been clear we don't want conflict with China. They say they don't want conflict with us as well. We hope they'll reduce what they're doing to create this tension. The increase in saber-rattling and threatening rhetoric from China has worried some U.S. officials, who see the activities as possible signs that Beijing is preparing for some type of military action. China's most xenophobic state-controlled outlet warned in an editorial this week that the series of military exercises near Taiwan could be a prelude to an attack on the island. China has been warned it does not have the power to claim the disputed South China Sea as theirs, according to an expert. China claims it has historic right of ownership to almost the entire South China Sea, despite a 2016 international arbitration ruling saying Beijing's claim had no legal basis under international law. But the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Taiwan and Brunei also have overlapping claims to parts of it.
DWF's head of transport, Jonathan Moss, has explained China does not have the right to claim islands in the waters as its own. When asked whether China does have a right over the disputed waters, not according to the judgment by the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague. They derived the judgment from the provisions of UNCLOS, which is the statute which was brought into force in December 1982. Certainly, if you look at the judgment, which is over 100 pages long, it suggests that China doesn't have the right to do that.